Hey everybody, welcome to Camel City Chat. I'm John McPherson, and I'm here with Peyton Smith, the owner, proprietor of Mission Pizza.
Yeah.
And it's Mission Pizza what is that?
Napoletana.
Yeah, I couldn't have pronounced that.
That's okay.
All right, so Napoletana. And we're gonna learn all about Mission Pizza. We're gonna learn about Peyton, and some other things that I got, other restaurateurs have poked me with questions for you.
Okay. I
will tell you who has sent me to ask these questions so that you can get even.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so first question, Peyton. Where are you from and how long you been in Winston?
Well, I'm from Winston-Salem.
Okay.
Went to high school here, grew up here.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to West Forsyth High School.
All right, Clemens guy.
I went to West Forsyth High School.
All right.
And I stayed here, went to college, went to Wake Forest.
Right.
And then I left. I was, just trying to be like a young adult person. And at a certain point after maybe a few years of that, I didn't have any grand plan. And I moved back here, sort of under the guise of like, if I want to embrace my adulthood and get on with it, then maybe I need some advantages. And I was just kind of doing my own thing at the time. I didn't have a master plan. I didn't have any friends or a girlfriend to shack up with and go somewhere.
Right.
So I moved back here. And I don't know that I anticipated sticking around here, but my life is good. It's worked out. So.
All right, so I'm going to ask, when did you graduate from West?
1994.
So I would have graduated in '86.
Oh, yeah.
I lived in Clemens West, but we moved to Winston, and then I went to McGinnis.
Yeah, you're just, so you went with like Mike Taylor and
Jimmy Smithson.
Yep. Yeah, of course. Yep.
Jimmy Hedrick, Jimmy
Yep.
Duncan, all those guys.
Yep, you're just a couple years older than my brother. You guys might have run around with each other at some point.
Kevin Windlebow?
No, I don't know Kevin.
He's a little
I know
older.
the Taylor boys.
Okay, yeah. So Kevin was, I think, kicker at West back in that time.
Okay, yeah.
So Stabler's brother is friends with Kevin's daughter.
Okay, cool.
Right,
small world, little small town vibes.
And your mom taught at West? Yeah, so she taught at West.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Per your friend, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, per my friend.
So, all right, so we got that. You've been here all your life, and went away but came back.
Yep.
What's your favorite place to eat in Winston? Now,
oh my God.
I'm going to assume one of them is here.
I would never say that.
But I'll say it for you because,
Okay.
everyone should come check out Mission Pizza.
Okay.
It's a great experience.
Okay.
I mean, we got the wood right by. Look, I'm touching wood that's going to cook somebody's pizza at some point.
Yeah, I wish it was a little drier.
You're going to throw that one out now, right?
No, it's all good.
So what's your favorite place to eat? What do you like?
Oh man, that's a good question. I like some places on the south side that are not fancy places at all.
Right.
Taco Rico on Sprague Street.
Is that behind the Gold Shop? Or no,
yes.
Okay.
No, it's adjacent.
Yeah.
or
Okay. Love that place.
behind, yeah.
Yeah.
Taco Rico, El Rancho. Historically, I've really liked a lot.
Right.
Kermit's Hot Dog House is like one of my favorite places.
Their shakes are phenomenal.
It's just like I grew up on the south side in
Okay.
a lot of ways. My dad had a business there, and so I was like a latchkey kid
Right.
on the south side, just like minding my own business, exploring the neighborhood, like at a very young age, and so I've kind of an affinity for the south side. Kermit's is like pure Americana, pure nostalgia. If I was going to eat food and pretend to be like an adult person, I would go to Mozelle's and
Good
hang
place.
out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Miss Mary's, of course.
Yeah, I do miss Mary's. I miss Mary too.
Yeah. So we interviewed her. She's like, "Just come. We'll do it on my front porch."
Yeah.
And then I've had a couple people on recently.
We're
I'm like,
neighbors.
Mary's getting antsy. I'm predicting this, folks. I think Mary's
so?
getting antsy. She's wanting to do something. I know she's
I don't
always
know.
talked about
Maybe.
recipes and things like that, but
Maybe
I don't know
she
what it
seems
is.
like last time I saw her, she seems so good and just
Oh, she's perfect, but I just think
peaceful
she
and
wants
happy,
to,
and she seems great.
maybe
so.
I'm pushing her out on my own because we want her
No,
back.
maybe.
I mean, there's nothing
You
better
give
than
her
her
some
green chili
give her some money, and
hollandaise.
why don't you
or whatever that is, green chili egg. What's the Benedict?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Give her some money.
Give her a little seed money. See what happens.
Well, we need to talk about that because you did something interesting to get some seed money, didn't you? right.
Yeah, I did.
So, all right. So, nice places to eat. What do you like to do though when you're not here? What do you like to
predominantly,
do
if
around
I'm
Winston?
not around Winston, what I
Yeah.
like to do, I just hang out with my friends.
Okay.
Like the best thing about the life I have and the job that I have is it brings like just all of these people into my life that, you know, probably a much different job would not bring all these people, right? Like if I worked so-and-so job, I would be surrounded by people that worked the same job,
Right.
and they would become my friends and that whole deal. But literally everyone, every demographic, every industry, every type of person from every facet of life like walks through here, and over time I developed good relationships with people from all over the place with vastly different perspectives and different parts of the world and different things they care about, and it's cool. It's awesome, and so
You know,
that's
like,
kind of my life. It's like my people.
didn't even think about this, but like, you know, if I worked Inmar, right, I'd only know the Inmar people.
I mean, that
But you
kind of
know
happens.
the Inmar people.
Yeah,
And you
correct.
also know the people at Piedmont Craftsman. You know the people
Yes.
at, you know,
Yes.
Reynolds or whatever, because you're
Yes.
interacting with them every day.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's really cool. And so otherwise I I travel a lot. I play soccer as much as I can when I can. But for me, if there's a theme to sort of how I spend my time and where I prioritize my energy is just like being around the people that make my life better. Yeah.
So, based on a couple comments that I've already picked up on,
Okay.
I'm assuming you were recruited to play at West Forsyth Soccer.
No, not at West, at Wake. You
No,
talking about-
but did you
that
live
wasn't
out
a
that
thing.
way?
Oh yeah,
That's-
oh yeah, I
Yeah.
lived out that way.
Okay.
When we moved to Louisville, it was like being sent to the gulag. I have to be honest with you.
Okay. Okay, so I'm from Louisville.
Deep
Thanks. Great, yeah.
Louisville. I mean,
Okay.
as deep as it gets. But
Okay.
when you're, I don't know, in 1988, when you're 12, and back then, you know, your parents, the life of the child was not the entirety of the parent's life.
Like it is now.
Like it is
Because I have
now.
a 7-year-old.
Yes. And so we had to fend for ourselves. Fending for ourselves in Old Sherwood Forest on Kirkley's Road was very easy and very fun. And going out to Louisville, like behind West Bend Vineyard, deep Louisville by the
Right.
county line,
Right.
was
Big difference.
it was not so fun for a while.
You know, it's funny because when we lived in Clemens West, it was like going to the mall was an event.
Oh, sure.
Because
I
it was like
believe
25, 30 minutes into the mall.
It sounds so absurd.
And people don't realize that. I mean, you know, it's like, oh, we're going to the mall today. Oh, my God.
Oh,
now
yeah.
it's like, well, that's like 5 minutes down the road. What's going on?
Right, yeah.
So
Things
we lived
change.
in Louisville and then recently have moved to Clemens. We're
Yeah.
over closer towards Center Grove.
Okay,
And,
yeah.
But, you know, I love it out there, but I understand what you're saying, too. I mean, you're almost in Yadkin and Davie counties and stuff
It
like
was
that.
out there, man.
Yeah.
It was out there. And once I had a car, it didn't matter.
Right.
But,
So tell me about Wake. So you're at West Forsyth, and some people talked to you about maybe playing at Wake.
yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know. I was a pretty good soccer player when I was a kid, and so
What's your position?
I'm like a traditional center forward.
Okay.
Like, yeah. So I have probably a lot of various abilities,
Right.
and I can play the proper game of soccer. But really, my greatest currency is if I'll know how to get between the goalposts, and if you pass it to me, I'll kick it in the goal. Anyway, so yeah, the guys at Wake wanted me to come there. There's a pretty unique situation there with the two people that ran that program at the time, and it's kind of like, well, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. It's kind of obvious. One of them was a very close personal relationship. The other one was like the guy who was there at the time is basically like, for lack of a better description or a very good description for people in this part of the world, was like sort of like Dean Smith of college soccer in a sense.
And Wake's always had great soccer teams.
Since these guys showed up,
Yeah.
yes.
You know, I went to App, and you know, we make fun of UNCG because they don't have a football team, but
Yep.
they always got a good soccer team.
Yeah, they have.
And, yeah,
They've always had a good team.
But now, so 300 pizza parlors.
I mean,
When did
300
this
is
start?
at least. I mean, it started kind of when I started, and what I mean is like, I started I was basically a professional pizza maker, starting sometime in 2010.
Okay.
And then for me, just the way I work and the things that I feel are important to me about how to operate, and it's just important for me to eat. It's important for me to understand what's happening.
So I would do
other
what,
places.
I would do what
Yeah,
you do
so that's
just
how it started.
because I get to go to Italy. Is
Well,
what I
yeah,
was
I mean,
saying.
it's a bonus.
Yeah,
It's a bonus. Like, I mean, the travel's a bonus, for sure.
Right.
And, but if we're talking specifically about, well, why do you eat at so many different pizzerias, it's because I really want to understand what's good, what's bad, where's a high bar, what the spectrum of execution looks like, what's new, what's interesting, what's appealing, all the above. How can I help you?
We need to do some work in that box right there.
So now we're inside. It seems
Yeah.
that they got to work on a video camera and they want to walk around us. And the highlight of it was them answering the phone behind us after
Yeah.
we told them if they didn't talk, it would be good.
That's okay.
You handled it well, sir.
Thank you.
Handled it well.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better at
Yeah,
these things.
Yeah, it was interesting. But so where we were is I was asking more about like the 300 pizzas and stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
I don't remember if we covered. So I asked this question again, and that was, I mean, in doing this, obviously you're trying to find, like, oh well, hey, let's use the green bottles rather than the clear bottles, whatever, as an example for me being stupid.
Yeah.
But I mean,
You're
did you
talking
find?
about you're talking about being intentional. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking
Did you
about?
find stuff in that, and the stuff that you did
Yeah.
find? I mean, like, I think you'd said when we continued a little bit, a silver bullet. I mean,
Yeah.
explain that?
Yeah, so on one hand, yeah, I don't know how many pizzerias I've eaten at, but it's an insane number. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And that just really started from a place where I just wanted to understand what the I was doing. Can I swear? Maybe
You
not.
just did, so we're fine.
I want to, sorry. I want to understand kind of what I was doing, where I was at. Like, for my personal reasons, like I want to be a high performer and I want to execute at a high level, and so I need to know where that bar is.
I don't think people understand every aspect of the restaurant, and maybe we can talk about that. We're going to take a break
Restaurants in
here in a
general?
second. Yeah, I mean, just from waiting to tables to turns
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But before we do that, so
Yeah.
we're going to take a break.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question as our cliffhanger, and that is,
Okay.
what makes a good pizza? We're going to be right back after this break, and Peyton will tell us. Welcome back to Camel City Chat. We are inside Mission Pizza
Napoletana.
Napoletano.
Yeah.
See, you can't teach me those big words to me. I
That's
went to
okay.
app. Remember
Well,
that.
you're just a Louisville boy, so.
Yeah, Napoletano. And so we're here with Peyton Smith. And Peyton and I have been talking a little bit about how we got here and how
Yeah.
you got here.
Yeah.
And I asked you before we went to break our cliffhanger question, and that was, Peyton, what makes a good pizza?
A pizza maker that cares about making a good pizza?
You have been called an artist.
I don't know about that.
You've been called an artist. Passionate. We'll get into those here in a
I
little
am
while.
passionate about what
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. That's
Yes,
true.
yeah, and you're
that's
smiling
true.
behind that because
Yeah.
there's
It's true. It's
there's
true.
some affectionate nicknames and stuff like that of
Oh,
your
yeah.
passion.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's
We'll-
true.
We'll touch
Yeah.
on that at some point.
You know, the thing about passion is it can, it can burn both ways.
Correct.
That
Correct.
burn can be maybe in one direction or another. Yeah.
Well, you've been,
I'm trying to soften one of those and
Yeah.
Enhance
and we'll
the
talk
other.
about that, right? Yeah.
I'm
so,
getting better at that in my age, my old advanced age,
yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you, like 40?
45.
Okay, yeah,
so
you're
mature.
getting-
Yeah, I'm trying.
Have you
to
started
mature.
wearing readers yet?
No.
That's
no,
going to
no.
come in the next year or two. Just so
Okay.
you know, hate
I
to break
believe
it to
it.
you. Yeah.
I believe it.
So, and what's going to happen is you're going to pick something up. Like I had to go to the CVS or Walgreens or
Yeah.
whatever, and I picked up something my
You know,
wife
like my
wanted me to
arm's
pick
not
up, and
long
I
enough
went,
to hold it.
"What in the heck?" I couldn't read anything on it.
Yeah.
All right, so really seriously though,
Yeah.
what makes a good pizza?
Yeah, literally. I mean, I think it begins and ends with a person who cares about making a really good product. Because-
Truly love is the greatest ingredient.
I mean, if that's the story, or if that's a cliche, or if that's the thing that resonates with people, sure. I would say intent, wanting to do things for the right reasons. I like all kinds of pizza, so I make a very specific style of pizza. I get particularly excited about some types of pizza and maybe not so much others, but I can recognize quality and intentional execution, and sort of celebrate people who are doing things for the right reasons, irrespective of kind of what's on the plate. You know what I mean? Like, I may not like, this is not my preferred style of, pizza, for instance, but man, this guy really cares about what he's doing, or this woman is really into into the style of pizza that she's making, and I can appreciate that. So like, look, you can certainly have, arguably some ingredients are better than others. And by that I mean the quality and the care and the production that goes into them. But ultimately, you know, like, let's put it this way. I would rather have kind of a cheap pizza made with cheap ingredients, well baked, well handled by a person who's really cares about what ends up on the plate than, you know, some restaurant group pizza where all the ingredients are really expensive and they're artisanal and XYZ, but they don't know what they're doing or they don't know how to handle them properly. I would much rather have the former.
Right. So
I'm not trying to be cheeky. I'm being
No,
I'm
no, no,
kind
no,
of being
no,
dead
I mean,
serious.
and-
Across, like, and that gives freedom for variety and personal expression, and like in the world of pizza, there's so many things that encompasses, and there's room for all kinds of stuff. But ultimately, for me, it's a person who really cares about what they're doing.
So, I mean, I build. I say I build a house. I'm starting on my third one.
Yeah, right.
And you know, it's like everyone always talks about the foundation. So, is the foundation truly the crust? Is it the sauce?
Yeah,
Is it
no,
the-
with pizza for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever, and that means a lot of different things based on the style.
And name some styles for me, because I'm, you know, I mean, what Chicago's one, I know. and
Well, what do you mean by Chicago?
no, I don't know. Deep dish pizza, I guess.
Well,
I don't
that's
know.
not Chicago
And then
style.
what's- and
Chicago
what's the-
style is actually really thin and crackery.
What's Detroit? I mean, that's
Detroit
something.
is like a Sicilian that's baked in a sloped pan, where the cheese falls into that slope.
So it's almost like a
And it
lasagna
gets
type
a crusty,
style pan.
It gets a crusty edge.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was born in Detroit, and I didn't even know there was
Oh, really?
a Detroit style pizza.
Oh yeah, it's very much a thing.
Yeah.
Done well, it's
Right.
excellent. Chicago deep dish, Chicago style, which is actually a tavern style
Flat,
pizza.
right.
New Haven, Neapolitan, Detroit style, Pizza Romana, Pinza Romana. You know, there's a style of pizza in like this weird little area of Pennsylvania, like Western Pennsylvania, like northern West Virginia. That's I don't know what they call it, but like
Is it kind
big, puffy, spongy, doughy style of pizza.
Is that, you think,
You've
more
got,
like the hand sandwich type thing, so they could take that pizza into the mine with
Oh,
them?
I don't know. I have no idea. I really have no idea.
So what-
Artisanal American pizza. I mean,
What do you cook?
Jesus, New York style pizza, Neapolitan pizza.
Neapolitan pizza,
Yeah.
and what makes it Neapolitan?
It's the closest. Well, I won't say the closest because that's a whole different discussion. We're taking our cues and our inspiration, and our goals are to do things in the way where pretty reasonably most people can agree modern pizza came out of sort of the Naples Campania region of Italy.
Right.
So Napoletana, as in from Naples, of Naples.
Okay.
Yeah. So the idea of Neapolitan pizza is it's cooked really fast, at a very high heat, which is really traditionally only really.
Stabler got some video of
Yeah,
that.
traditionally it's only able to be created by a live wood fire. You got 3 different types of heat that may or may not be germane to people. But the point is the end product is soft, delicate, light, bright, clean, versus an typically American style pizza, which would be baked for a lot longer at a lot lower temperature. It gets baked harder or more sturdy, right? Just because of the length of the time it's in there. And then you're able to put a lot more stuff on it. Right. Yeah.
So now, like with bourbon, there are requirements.
Yeah.
With, you know, certain, what is it? There's certain requirements for, like, is it? I forget. One of the beers has, you know, these are the 3 things in it. You have one product, obviously, that has certain requirements, and that would. Do you have an authentic, like, what is it? The margarita or something? You
Yeah.
have to
So
do? What's that?
There's, I mean, some of this is, you know, some of this is kind of marketing.
Smoke
some
and
of
mirrors?
it. No, it's not. I would say there's marketing behind it, but there's very much a love and an honor and trying to maintain these traditions of doing things. If we talked enough, I would talk about the tradition mafia, and in Italy, that's very much a thing. Right. But they like their traditions. They like things done the way they've always been done, and so there certainly are kind of standard operating procedures and there are groups. I don't really subscribe to them necessarily, but there certainly are sort of industry groups that would say a pizza margherita or proper pizza napoletana has to be XYZ.
Right.
A cornicione of this type of height or depth, a pizza that's about as wide as XYZ, a dough ball that's 260 grams,
Like
topped with a
what,
certain type
buffalo
of
matzo,
tomato,
right?
or fior di latte, which is
Okay.
from cow's milk,
Right.
baked at certain temperatures for a certain amount of time. I understand all those things. I'm very well versed in them. I don't have to subscribe to them like, you know, an acolyte.
Right, you
But
appreciate them,
I
but
take my- I
you,
can
you
take
have
my
your own,
cues,
we go back to the artist.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but I like the tradition. I really respect it, and that for me, it's a starting place,
Right.
not an ending place.
Well, if it was an ending place, everyone would taste the same.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got the grill there. I mean, you know, it's
Yeah.
it's your wood-fired
Yeah.
furnace. What is the wood-fired?
Just an oven. Just an oven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we walked by. Of course, we saw some earlier before
Yeah.
our friends came and decided
Yeah,
that they
yeah,
wanted to,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
what time y'all open? It's
Yeah.
on the door. But
Oh,
so.
I'm not sure if it is.
Evan told me
Yeah.
he's basically hanging out and doing some cleaning and stuff like that, just keeping the fire going.
Yeah, Wednesday's our first day now because
Okay.
we're Wednesday through Saturday. So Wednesday's like
So
very
what,
long
what
preview.
temperature are we in there?
right now. I don't know, 600 degrees.
And when you throw my pizza in, what time is that?
We'll
5
probably
o'clock,
yeah, close to 5 o'clock. It'll be pushing 900 plus degrees on the deck.
Okay, and it is, how many seconds are we putting it in there for?
I don't, I
A minute?
Yeah, it's probably around a minute to 75 seconds.
And
It
that's-
depends.
yeah.
It depends. So if the dough, I mean, the pizza dough is like a living thing. So we do things the same way, but it's still there's variables that get kind of wonky, or they do their own thing, or you know, a little
Every
bit
piece
a
of
little
wood's
bit
not
of
the same
change.
size.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
mean, yeah, I understand.
it's not always perfect. It's not super standardized, but we say these are the parameters we want to operate in, and then can we just read the situation any given day or time? The way we bake pizza Wednesday at 5 o'clock is not going to be the way we bake pizza Saturday at 10 o'clock. Those are not the same thing.
Right, because
Yeah.
you've got
The product is different. The oven is very different. Lots of variables.
much better seasoned, et cetera, all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, so, all right, so let's, now take me back. So we come back to Winston-Salem.
Yep.
And I'm saying this, I mean, I already, well, I don't know if that's true, but I'm saying this, so I feel this way. So I feel like you're one of the first food trucks around.
I had a trailer with a wood-fired oven on it, and
Right.
people knew I was around. Yeah,
Right.
I wasn't really.
And so how long ago was this?
2010, I started doing that.
Okay.
So it wasn't geared towards just showing up on the corner and making food by
Right.
any stretch of the imagination. I could do kind of community events or farmers markets or a little fair or.
Hey, Peyton, we're tailgating at the weight game. You want
Yes,
to bring the trailer?
we've definitely done that. Spencer's deal, his semi-annual sale.
I think we're recording this and we'll record and
Yeah.
we'll play it later. I think it will have already happened.
Okay,
Yeah.
so stuff
yeah.
like that. And so we were definitely kind of a public present company. Yeah, so yeah, that's
So you moved from I love pizzas, I do the trailer, et cetera,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
to crowdfunding. Is that how you got in here? I mean, and tell me a little bit
that's a
about
piece of it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
no,
a
I,
piece
and
of
I
it,
and I'm
yeah.
asking the whole because I had no clue about that. Because
Yeah.
the guys at Small Batch did that very well.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah,
with
and
that
I mean,
too.
there's names
that was
up
a
on
big
walls.
thing. That was
Yeah.
a big thing about that time. So
Yeah.
this was, I mean, we were.
Well, tell me about that.
Yeah, I was always aiming to be in a brick and mortar space, and we were actually going to do that before I started this trailer thing, a company called Fornomoto. But when we got into this space, I mean, the thing about restaurants is they're so capital intensive, and being able to kind of source cash wherever you can get it.
And that's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
and,
mean-
and I was going to say this. What people don't understand
Yeah.
is like, for instance, with Adam Andrews,
Yeah.
when he goes into where the taco
next
place
door.
was.
Yeah.
What happened there was you know, you can leave all the equipment and the new proprietor comes in,
Yeah.
but they closed the restaurant and took the equipment, so now you've got to buy all the equipment, and
Yeah.
you don't buy used restaurant equipment normally.
I mean, no.
Yeah, I
It's
mean-
not really that much. It's not really worth it, to be honest.
And it's also one of those things of where, you know, the difference is, and a lot of people understand this. I mean, you can maybe get financing on new restaurant equipment. You're paying a little bit more, but the used restaurant equipment is more of a cash type of a thing and stuff like that. So
I mean, it's cash intensive.
Right.
You need a lot of money to open a restaurant. Things go wrong. There's 40 line items that
Right.
need to be fulfilled. And so part of us doing a crowdfunding campaign was really to say to people, this is capital intensive. We
Right.
need everything we can get. Also, we've built this small sort of word of mouth, hyper local brand that clearly resonates with people. So can we give them an opportunity to kind of participate in this thing with us?
Right.
And then the other piece of that, it's a very simple quid pro quo. So they give me, let's say, $100 in 2014. And then I give them their commensurate value or the promised value in food and merchandise when we're open. Let's
Right.
call it 5 months later. So it's
So,
also
yeah,
just a
and-
very.
and-
It's also very. It's a quid pro quo.
Well,
so.
yeah, I mean, and the most, you know, I always say I'm profane, I'm not of the temple because I'm a Mason.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that's the thing there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is the most expensive thing in your restaurant because it's free and you have to pay a water bill.
Oh, don't get me started
Right,
on water.
and yeah,
Don't get
and
me
so I
started.
want water. So if I come in and I buy San Pellegrino, you've got a profit there. Here, I mean, I'm there.
don't
and
get
I
me
know,
started.
don't worry. I'm not gonna get started on that, but I am gonna ask you about takeout soon.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what people don't understand is that's a great deal for me because I spend $100 with you. When I come back in, I get $100 worth of pizza. The pizza doesn't cost you $100. Probably of that, the most expensive thing would be more the merchandise type of stuff because there's less
Yeah,
margin
our
there.
food costs are going to
Yeah.
be commensurate, but then we obviously have our labor
Right.
labor costs, our overhead costs. I mean, it's just it's a fair deal and a good trade.
I think it's a great trade.
And there's a good, just feel good factor of people who want to support you, either because they know you, they like you, either they like where you're coming from and they want to see your project in the community. It's not such a big thing anymore. That's all kind of shifted towards like pre-production retail goods. but,
Right.
it was really valuable for us. We raised like
That's
maybe
awesome.
$30,000, I think.
Yeah, no, I like
Which
that.
is
That's
lot,
a neat idea.
Which is
where
a tenth of our budget, basically.
Where the small batch guys did, you just got your name up on the wall or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean,
And that's
you
fine
get to
too.
craft it however
Yeah.
you want. It was
But
cool.
but a neat idea because then also what happens is when I come in here on the $100, I'm bringing my family of 4,
Yeah.
and it, you know, my wife wants pizza, I want a pizza. Oh, by the way, I got to get a T-shirt, et cetera, and stuff. If I
Yeah.
don't blow it on that one, I blow it on the next one and buy more food.
Yeah.
And you've got a hook in coming in.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of have people that are, they're likely to be on your team from the get-go. which is
Anyway,
great.
but this ensures it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So I want to learn more about how you've mastered the whole customer experience because you said you've been to a lot of
I
pizza
don't know that
parlors.
I've mastered it.
And I would no.
A lot of people would tell you I
you're
haven't.
never going to master it, obviously. But I want to learn more about some different things, and we'll talk
Yeah.
about that. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Camel City Chat. Welcome back to Camel City Chat. We are in Mission Pizza, and I'm here with Peyton Smith, and we're talking all about pizzas. I asked you a lot of questions about the pizza and the temperatures and all that kind of
Yep,
stuff.
yep.
Because one night I'm laying on the couch at the house.
Yeah.
They've got that new oven thingamajigger,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at it. Now you're going to love this already. I
Okay.
promise. I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, that'd be nice. I started to look at it, and I started to look at how much it costs, and you know what I said?
Huh.
I can just drive to the dang pizza parlor, come
That's
down
true.
here and get it.
That's
And there's
true.
a whole bunch of pizzas I can buy here that are cooked right before I do that. So
That's true.
One of my friends did that,
Yeah.
and my wife went over and had pizza and said it was nice. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna lead you here. You ready? Here it comes.
Yeah, yeah.
I can come get takeout here. No. So you have a takeout
We would
philosophy.
I would try very hard to talk you out of that.
So I want to come back and talk about the restaurant and coming in, but let's go ahead and
Yeah.
we're gonna hit a topic.
Yeah.
Takeout sucks to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Why?
Okay,
Everyone
so
does takeout, Peyton.
well, here's a caveat. Let's forget about the fact that we've been in a COVID world and like we had to transition to takeout because I want the people that work for me to eat and I
Right.
want them to pay their bills and I want them to manage their life. If it was strictly up to me, I probably could have found another way to operate, to be honest with you.
Right.
But we got bills. I want to care for them. I want to make sure they're sorted out. And, you know, it's just a
And
different
not
world.
just here, by the way. That's something we'll talk about in the next
Yeah,
segment.
sure.
You were a helper and
some
a
ways,
giver, not
yeah.
a taker a lot of times.
That's probably true.
All right,
yeah.
so let's go talk about...
But anyway, let's just talk about takeout in general.
takeout's awesome. Just come in and tell Peyton that.
So there's a couple things. First of all, we would try to discourage people, literally try to discourage people from doing that. To an extent, we're sort of damned if we do and damned if we don't.
Right.
And because the basics of American consumer culture is it's my money and it's my rules.
Right.
People that know me, that have been here, understand that we sort of reject that as politely as we can. Here's the problem. Takeout Neapolitan pizza sucks. It's designed to be light and delicate and fresh, right? It's baked for a very short time. And so when you put it in a box, you've literally
Condensation.
ruined it. Yeah, you've just literally ruined it. It's meant to be eaten hot and fresh. It's originally a street food, right? Like you would be on the street side in Naples and you would order a pizza and they would hand it to you and they would fold it up in paper and you would eat it like a sandwich. I mean, it's not designed to sit on a plate for a long period of time and not be consumed.
Right.
So A, it just sucks. So that means it's a bad representation of us. It doesn't really tell people about our product in a way that's accurate, okay? That leads to often they're disappointed, even though they insisted on taking it out. Because I'm a jerk. If I say zero takeout under any conditions, I'm a jerk. If I sell you takeout begrudgingly, then I'm a jerk. You know what I mean? Like
We get back to one of those things that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. So and I'm overstating it. You know what I mean? But the point is, we can't really make people happy and give with a product that's not designed to go in a box, right? I don't like the personal compromise. I don't like the business compromise. The other piece of that, and so the trade of goods for services, people feeling cared for and like they're getting good value. It just screws up the whole deal. I mean, American pizza goes in a box great, right? Clearly, there's tons of companies that have been doing that forever. This is not standard American pizza, so we can't operate that way. The other piece of that is I invested a lot of time and money and energy in having a restaurant that requires maybe 10 or 12 people to operate during a shift. I pay a lot of money per month in rent, and there's no reason to go to all that trouble if I just want to sell food in a box.
You'll go
and
back
send
to a
it out
truck.
the window. Yeah, I'd go back to a truck, or I would buy a Domino's.
Right.
So I wanted to create a space that was a really fun place for people to come here, eat their food, and then go on about their business, whatever they're going to do. They're going to hang out downtown. They're going to go home. They're going to meet friends. And so I wanted to create a little different something in the community. Because, yeah, if I just wanted to do a very cold trade of goods for services, this is not the way to do it. This is an expression of us. Starts with me and funnels out to the rest of my staff if they're here for any period of time. And so this is an expression of what we want to do, what we think about pizza or food, putting stuff on the plate that we would want to eat or that we want to demonstrate and show to people, hopefully giving them an environment that, like I said, reflects kind of what our point of view is. Because otherwise, yeah, it's just like hand you a pizza in a box. I mean, that doesn't excite me. It just doesn't excite me. And so I'm not sure why you would.
Could you put a disclaimer on the box or something like that? I mean, because I know you're,
We tried everything.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Unless you have like tons of money to spend on advertising and print and some flyer you staple to every box, like everything costs money.
Right.
And we have limited resources and limited bandwidth.
And especially
as it
during a
is.
pandemic, yeah.
And to be honest, for a small company like this, I've learned that messaging on a broad scale is kind of impossible.
Right.
Right? It's just kind of impossible. You could say to yourself, I say this all the time, it's all over social media, blah, 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 and some people just, they're not going to hear it.
Right.
They're not going to get the message. It's kind of impossible. So you just do the best you can. But takeout pasta is fine. Take out salads, take out meatballs, take out cauliflower. We got plenty of food that does perfectly fine with takeout. Takeout Neapolitan pizza is not good. It's not what it's designed to do. And so during the pandemic, which we're still in, whatever that means, it was kind of crazy. But generally, as a general rule, we have not outright said we won't do it, but we literally talk people out of it and ask them, like, this will be done in 5 minutes. Sit here, eat it, and bounce.
Right. Well, and I mean, what we were talking about in the break about me being with KNS News,
Yeah.
I mean, the customer isn't always right. I mean, I know that people want to believe that, but there are cases. But you know, I
Yeah.
understand what you're trying to do there. I mean, there are other things that don't hurt either, and that's, hey, if you sit here, then maybe you'll get a beer, or maybe you'll do something else.
Well, yeah,
But, I mean, that's not your intent. Your intent
Yeah.
still is you are to eat the pizza in the way and manner in which it was intended.
Correct. And
Right.
the broader business model requires people to come, sit down, not only eat pizza, but yes, drink beer, eat some salad, eat some wood-fired veg.
Right.
Yeah, just handing you pizza in a box is a totally different business model.
So when we talked earlier, you know, you came up with some different. You said you've traveled, and we've came up with some different ideas.
I was
And-
I was just in Wilmington today. That's where I just came from.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So
Making
wow.
pizza.
Yeah. So and does that have to do with PeytonSmithPizza.com?
I mean, maybe, sort of, marginally.
So we'll put that on the screen, PeytonSmithPizza.com.
PeytonSmithPizza.com.
And what this is it's almost like a consulting business where if I decide I want to open up a pizza parlor in Boone, I can call you up and you'll help me walk me through it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I feel like I have a reasonable industry authority to speak, certainly on Neapolitan pizza, but with but there's also some basics that apply broadly to all categories of pizza, and many of those I have a lot to provide a person who wants to learn about those things. And I don't know, I've been specifically Neapolitan pizza, I've been making it longer than the vast majority of people in America right now. I feel like it's a thing that I like to do in terms of teach and educate and sort of, you know, spread the gospel of pizza, I think. The great thing about people in pizza is everyone's having fun. It's kind of amazing. And then otherwise, it's the biggest category in food service. And so constantly there's people that want to get into pizza. They might be enthusiasts. They might want to be owner-operators and be installed in their restaurant and do something cool and fun, but they really don't know what the hell they're doing. They might be a restaurant group that needs another concept, but they don't know what the hell they're doing. It might be an absentee operator that wants to dial in a concept that works, that he can go in the marketplace and hire someone at market rates to manage it, and he can otherwise go hang out at the beach if that's what he wants to do. Like, that's a good way to run a business too. There's so much pizza in the world and in America, and there's a lot of room for growth and development and education. And so if you're starting a new business, especially in a restaurant, you need an architect, you might need an interior designer, you need a lawyer, you need a real estate agent, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to the pizza, you're just gonna make it
Make
up
it on
on
your
your
own,
own.
yeah.
Forget about it.
I told you I'm building a house. You know what I did? I called a buddy of mine that's a home builder
Yeah.
and said, hey, you're my mentor and I'm going to pay you some to help me do this.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do
and
that?
And you need an engineer, and
I call him up and I go, hey, who do I call about this? Oh, call this guy. And there's already an established relationship,
Yes.
so it's not like that.
Yeah.
All right, so when I come in the door here, and obviously I like, the times I've been here, I like it because, you know, it's not a front door that comes right in. You kind of come in, there's a little area you can
Yeah.
wait, kind of chill out or
Yep.
whatever we come in.
Yep.
And then, you know, you've got software to do different things. Tell me about the whole restaurant experience. I mean, can I make a reservation? You
Yeah.
know, can I order online? Can I do all this stuff? And I mean, I know the answers to some of these questions, but
Yeah.
I got to get the, you know.
No, it's great. So especially during COVID, we sort of leaned a little more into some technology, which we kind of eschewed for a long time, because
Right.
we just wanted to be this kind of place that people knew about and they figured it out and it was a little unexpected. So we leaned a little bit into reservations, especially the latter part of COVID when we had reduced seating, and we offered some different services. You can order online. Obviously, during COVID, we went full order online. We throttled that back now, actually, to be honest. And then the other cool piece of that is with some of the technology we're using, so you can walk in, get a seat. If you need to wait, we'll have you wait. If we can seat you straight away, we'll do that. You can order food online. You can go online. You can make a reservation. And then we have a couple other kind of unique experiences that are a part of our service now that you can reserve a certain experience.
I
which
saw
is
that,
pretty
so I can
cool,
come in and have the whole restaurant to myself.
Well, you could. That takes a little more planning.
Right.
But off the cuff, like someone could go on right now and sort of put down a deposit to reserve a prefix meal or a pizza casse meal.
Right.
Or so we're doing some things that are a lot of fun for us and sort of tell the story of our restaurant in a little different way, attracts a different type of a diner. And so
corporate
having
too.
technology do that is helpful.
Yeah, and corporate too. I mean, so
Sure.
now
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a
sure.
price out there that I can come in here and reserve the whole restaurant. And
Yeah. I mean, you could do that. That's sort of always, I guess, small independent restaurants. That's sort of always available. But to tell a little bit of the story behind it is helpful. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right, so I got the takeout philosophy.
Yeah.
You mentioned a big box pizza company a second ago, so I'll
Oh,
jump
Domino's,
to that.
yeah.
Yeah. So, is it? This is an Adam Andrews question.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So, we got but is it a sin to eat big box pizza?
No, of course not.
Okay.
I mean,
There's a time and place for everything.
yeah, sure. I mean, look, they bring it to your house. They do it pretty fast. I wouldn't say that it's good pizza, but it can be satisfying in lots of ways, in the way that fat, salt, and sugar is satisfying.
Right.
No, it's not. It's certainly
Okay.
not.
So it's not a sin, but you definitely recommend.
I would the way I like to spend my money
Right.
is I like to give my money to people who care about what they're doing.
Right.
That's that's how I'll put that.
You know, I love YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube, obviously,
Yeah.
and you can see that you're talking to me about some of the things that
Yep.
you've seen me interview.
Yep.
And I'll watch. There's just certain categories that I'll look at, like coin collecting or something like that.
Okay.
And I also like the guys like Dude Perfect or Mark Rober.
Okay.
That's been kind of cool to enjoy that with my wife, of watching him do something like
Yeah.
with that. But the one thing I've gotten into some Costco stuff. It's kind of interesting. I did not, like what to buy at Costco, what to buy at Trader Joe's, to try. We got an air fryer to try something at the house.
Okay.
Can't always come in here, sometimes you got to cook at the house.
Understood.
And so Costco's like the largest or the top, number 3 of pizza parlors in America. Did you know that?
That doesn't surprise me.
No, because they're serving those, that's...
Yeah. Have you ever seen how the pizza gets made?
I was going to ask you, have you ever seen how the pizza gets made?
It goes on. They put it on a turntable.
Everything's weighed out, the
Yeah.
dough, they spread it out, they
put
have
it on a
press
turntable,
on it.
and it spins around in a little, like a
The ketchup
a
nozzle,
spray,
Wendy's like thing, yeah.
a spray of tomato.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
Pound of cheese, has to be a pound of cheese, has to be like a
it's
certain
probably
number
2
of...
pounds of cheese.
Yeah.
I swear to God. I mean, look, there's fast, convenient food everywhere. That
Right.
is not what we are.
Right.
That's not what we aim to be. We can be fast and convenient food before 6:30 and after 8:30. We're pretty fast and convenient food if that's what you need.
Right.
But that's just not what we're designed for.
No, but it is interesting there's other options out there.
Yeah, listen.
All right, so I wanna talk about-
Pizza is it's the biggest category in the food industry because it's the easiest thing to commodify.
Oh, and the costs are fairly inexpensive in the sense...
At a place like Costco? Oh my God,
Yeah, I mean,
their
yeah,
food
so
costs?
we're talking, we got flour,
God.
you got water, and that. Where you start to get it is the cheese and stuff like that.
But even, the level of the amount of stuff they're buying,
Yeah.
gosh, their food costs have got to be
All right,
crazy.
he's telling us we got to take a break.
All right, let's take a break.
So we're going to take a break. When we come back, can we address like some nicknames or things like that?
Sure.
All right,
Yeah,
we'll
that's fine.
address nicknames because you're a
Yeah.
passionate artist.
That's fine.
And then what else? Oh, we got to talk about eating local and
Yeah,
some of the
we
things
do.
you've done there, your T-shirts and stuff like that. Okay.
Okay, cool.
We'll be right back
Yeah.
with more Camel City Chat. Welcome back to Camel City Chat. I am here with none other than Peyton Smith, affectionately known as the Pizza Nazi. What is up with that?
I saw a meme.
And is that's something people call you because of the Seinfeld thing?
I wouldn't say they call me that, but I've heard that
It's
out
gotten
loud.
back to you.
And there's, I don't know, a couple hundred people like the meme about it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it, right? Like on one hand, the piece of that's like very clear and obvious to people is I can get prickly when I think there's a certain way to go about things. There's a certain way to do things. We've talked about this before. I don't personally believe that just because we're trading money, that it's all about what you want, because this is a personal expression, okay? This is also an expression of a thing that not very many people understand, but I understand it at a high level. And so anything that you understand at a high level and other people don't understand it and try to explain it to you, or
Listen, yeah, right.
you can get a little prickly sometimes. When you don't let people, when you tell people, I'd rather you not sell takeout, I'd rather not sell you takeout pizza. When we tell people, when people don't like our pizza, but I've made it perfectly, and I say to them, you know, maybe this pizza's just not for you, instead of groveling or apologizing or giving their money back, like, I just say, you know, maybe this pizza's not for you.
Right.
That's a very uncustomary way to behave around here in the restaurant space. If you were from Chicago, city of Chicago, New York, any big city, sure, you still have Applebee's and Outback, and they'll give it to you the way you want it. That's
Right.
what they're designed to do. But there's plenty of places that you would interface with that you understand that there's another type of establishment in the world that is doing things their way, and if there's a disagreement, then there's a disagreement, right?
Right.
And maybe the consumer who's used to asserting their influence with their money is going to feel wronged. That doesn't mean that the proprietor is being a jerk. It just means that we see things differently. In Winston-Salem, frankly, that's not a thing.
Right.
And so we're a very easy demonstration, and
I'm writing down describing words.
And kind of a clear target
Unique.
for people to go, why aren't they just doing what why don't they give us what we want? Well,
Right.
because I'm not here to give you what you want. I'm
I've
here
got
to
a
do what I
system.
want. I'm here to
I've
do
got
what
a
I want.
system. You either like it or you don't. Yeah.
Yes, and no harm, no foul.
Right.
But when people try to give you your money and you say, I don't really want your money under those circumstances, they can get really bothered. But now the Pizza Nazi thing is just a cheeky, funny thing, and
Yeah.
I get it. It's fine. It's cool.
So you remember Billy Goat Tavern, cheeseburger from
Oh, yeah,
Sound
yeah,
Opera.
yeah, yeah.
So, fun fact, they rent their space from the National Association of Realtors.
Oh, yeah.
We're in Chicago. So we had breakfast mess up or whatever, so
Yeah.
they just sent us downstairs. So I walk in, and of course, a really nice guy owns it.
Yeah.
And you know, but you can tell, I mean, it's a system. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like 24 of us walk in, we were all seated and eating within like about
Right.
10 to 15 minutes.
Right, right.
Crazy. Taking money and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm like, so what do you think about this? He goes, oh, you got to do this. I'm like, okay. You know,
Yeah.
and that's how I order my food. Like when they're, how you want your steak cooked? I like medium rare, but you know,
How do you do it?
chef's choice. You know, especially
Yeah.
with tuna or no, salmon's a big one. I
Yeah.
was like, chef's choice, and they're like, what do you mean? I said, that person is trained to do it. I'll eat it how
Right.
they want to express
Yeah, right,
themselves to
right.
me.
Like people that like pizza a certain way, I don't begrudge them. I don't think there's something wrong with them. I don't think they're jerks. Like none of those things. I have a personal expression of what we're trying to do here, of the space we're trying to create, of the ways we're trying to show something to people, maybe open their eyes a little bit. The other piece is we're sort of representing a remarkable food culture that is incredibly unique and incredibly robust, and I'd like to do it right. And so if we just don't see eye to eye, then me personally, I don't get bothered. It happens. We want people to enjoy their time here. If people don't like the pizza, we can guide them in other directions. But on average, people that want pizza the way they're used to getting it here, and that's the only reason they're here, we're probably just not going to see.
You do have a
eye.
following.
Yeah. We have a very robust group of loyal, regular guests. It's regulars all the time in here, constant.
So there is something else you're passionate about
Yeah?
that people could consider you a softie on.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What's that?
The people that stuck with you through the pandemic.
Sure, yeah, sure.
Did you collect money? Peyton, did you collect money for other restaurants? People? Did you? You know,
yeah.
you did
We-
T-shirts of eating local with different restaurants' names on
Yeah,
it. What's wrong
yeah.
with you? That you can't be the mean guy and do something nice. So tell me about what you did to try
Yeah.
and make things great
Yeah,
for people working.
You know, I sort of very quickly, in my mind, thought this was going to be kind of foo bar on all different levels. This will be inconvenience for 8 weeks. Like, not a chance. It was pretty clear to me that a lot of people's lives were going to change in a not very good way, and a lot of things were going to disappear, and a lot of people were going to lose their ass. And I was very, very concerned. And also, I'm in a fortunate place. Our business operates really well. We're probably not at any great risk to disappear. And so I was really focused on other people's needs, especially at a time when no one really knew what was happening. There was no real government support or plan at that time, but everything felt like a fiasco. We put together sort of a t-shirt campaign, made a bunch of fun shirts in order to both highlight any variety of local places, raise some money, and then we just spent that money in the community. We gave people restaurant gift cards, Amex gift cards, because everyone had lost their job, no one had benefits at the time, and people were cash poor. Like, they needed to pay their bills. We, after our expenses on the t-shirts, and then of course people just gave us money to redistribute. They trust us, and I appreciate that. We probably redistributed somewhere right under $10,000 in aid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
You know how I
It's
found
great.
out about it? Adam told me.
Oh yeah.
Because I think Young Cardinal or somebody gave you some money for it.
Adam did, yeah.
Yeah.
I hustled a few restaurant operators. Jen Smith maybe gave me $1,000. Adam
Right.
gave me almost $1,000, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, people need help,
Yeah.
and we need to help them. It's not a lot of money, but it's something.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so before we close up here, I've got to ask you the question, and you're a prime example of this because, you know, if I approached you in the 90s and said, you're going to open up a pizza parlor down there, you would have said, I'm not even driving down that street down there.
Yeah.
So tell me what do you like about the changes, or where do you want to see Winston go now and coming up in the next 10 years, let's say?
Yeah, so on one hand, I think we're sort of at an inflection point maybe. Certainly there's a lot of growth and a lot of changes in downtown on average. Trade Street in particular, I like a lot. Like, Trade Street has a cool, independent, kind of funky vibe,
Right.
eclectic vibe. The business operators on Trade Street are here all the time. Vivian and Stephanie are here all the time. Kathleen's there all the time. Opie, Philip is there all the time. Like, so they're very, everyone is very invested in their business here. That goes for the retailers and the yoga guys, and that goes for everyone.
Right.
We've seen really good growth on this end of Trade Street recently, so that's been really encouraging. And so
The artwork's helped, you know, Mary's.
yeah, we got a
and
bunch
all
of
that
cool
stuff,
art here.
and you got
yeah.
the
We got a
hoops
bunch of cool. We've got a
Yeah.
great mural back here. They've got some over there.
the park over there.
Park's really cool. So we're moving in a good direction. I think the next hurdle, maybe for us, is just to find ways to encourage and/or incentivize and/or create the right conditions that more people, because really it's a loose conglomeration of a bunch of private property, basically, right? So it's kind of hard to curate that unless we can create a critical mass of a culture of people doing their things, people like me who say, I'm going to do it my way, and if the world looks at us and says, oh, they look like they're successful, maybe I can now go do my thing and do it my way, and if I scale it and size it properly, like, that's the kind of maybe the next step, is to continue to reinforce and encourage sort of just the personal and independent spirit of people that want to say, hey, can I do this thing? Hey, this looks encouraging, I can try this. And then the second piece of that is showing to the broader public of Winston-Salem, which probably on average is used to things a certain way, that, hey, instead of celebrating what we're accustomed to, can we start to celebrate things that are novel, that are interesting, that are done with intent? Maybe they're different and they bring variety, and that in and of itself is a good thing. can we start to maybe celebrate the intent and the execution and the perspective behind a given project? That would be really cool. I think that's a little bit of a hump that we're still trying to get over, and that just takes people and time. That's all it takes. And COVID doesn't help. I mean, come on.
All right.
So
I think I'm gonna let you out of a question.
yeah, why?
If you want me to. Well, no, I mean, so I think you're an artist,
Okay.
and I heard that from the ladies next door, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
All right. I think you're passionate.
That's true.
You're unique.
Probably.
I think you love Winston-Salem.
I do.
All right.
I have my qualms with
what do you wanna
Winston-Salem,
be-
but I
yeah,
do
but-
love it.
yeah, I
Like
mean-
anything you
Let me
love.
tell you something. They've done some stuff here recently in real estate that I'm like, I'm throwing up the hands going, what are you guys thinking?
Yeah.
But have somebody say something bad about Winston-Salem, and then
Yeah.
gloves are off.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what do you want to be remembered for then? I'll ask it for you.
Oh, what do you mean? Like
I'm not meaning it demise. I'm just saying,
context?
if you could say, hey, when I leave Winston or whatever, what do you want to be remembered for?
I mean, given that the tenor of our conversation is like how I do my thing within the broader community, I would say I'll lean in that direction and simply say that a big part of the reward that I get in doing what I do, and that might even be being a pizza Nazi at times, is being able to show people like you absolutely can do it your way.
Right.
Like, you don't have to sell chicken Caesar salad. You don't have to sell chicken wings. You don't have to sell 8,000 different things. Like, you don't have to go out of your way to appease everyone in a way that makes you valuable to no one, right?
Right.
Like, if I can sell this style of pizza and kind of be perceived as a jerk to lots of people, and that's okay, I would like, it would be I get a lot of value and personal reward in saying, I think we can be kind of a role model for people who want to take a personal risk to do something they love, to hopefully make their life better, and find a way to make their life work, and do something that they care about, and then enhance the community, little pieces at a time. And so I've been really fortunate that that we have the freedom to do what we do. But that's another reason why, like, I need to know what's good. I need to perform at a high level. I need to be consistent. Like, so yeah, if we could be a model to people, like, that want to take some risk or want to do their thing or want to express themselves in the community but aren't sure how, or maybe don't have enough examples that it works, like, it can work. You got to be smart about it.
Well,
but
I
it can
don't
work.
think any innovator followed the path that was in front of them. I think
That's
they created their
probably
own.
true.
So
Yeah.
you got a successful restaurant. You got some customers that know, love, trust you with their pies.
That's
so
true. Yeah,
I don't
that's
think that I think that's, as you said, that's just kind of a funny there. But so we go to missionpizzanapoletana.com. That's
Yeah.
missionpizzanapoletana.com.
Yep.
And want to thank a friend of ours who sponsors our show a little bit. That's Jeff Smith, Smitty's
Oh,
Notes.
yeah.
I know you know him.
Yeah, yeah, he's
I
a
told
great
him, I
guy.
said, he said, oh my gosh, I was watching the episode and I got someone I want you to interview. I said, well, I'm getting ready to interview Peyton. He says, oh, yeah, good. Tell him I said, hey.
Cool, he's
So
a good dude.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
So I thank you for your
Yeah,
love of
thanks, man.
Winston.
Oh, yeah,
I thank
thanks.
you for this. I've been in before and never met you before, so it wasn't like you don't come in and go, hey, I'm John, nice to meet you. or
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
But so we'll come in and get a pizza. But before we go, I have to do it to you, and that's, folks, thanks Peyton for being here. But make sure to stop by Mission Pizza and order some takeout. Right?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
exactly.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, you have a lot of stuff on the menu. Check it out. There's some good
Thanks.
stuff. And one of the things I wanted to ask you, and I'll ask you off camera,
Yeah.
is, when I come in here, what's your favorite dish besides pizza? We'll close with that. What's
Evan smokes the pastas. He just crushes them. So
and meet Evan. He's fun. Yeah, he was a nice guy.
He's a great guy. We have really good people here. He kills the pastas.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I think you've alluded to that. Mission Pizza is successful not only for your inventions and things like that, but your wonderful staff.
Yeah, our people are really great.
Cool. We'll be back next week with more Camel City Chat. Thanks again.